The Veteran's Voice, Stories That Deserve to Be Heard, is proudly sponsored by Calling Gilbert Wright and Carter.
Hi, I'm David Booth, United States Army retired Master Sergeant, and this is my story. So I joined the Army at 17. I didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduated from high school. I had opportunity to go to college, but I chose that I wanted to see the world. I wanted to experience life. I wanted to kind of get out of where I was. The military's always felt like I had a place there. So I went to the Marines and spoke with a recruiter. I said I wanted to be in military police, and they said, "Oh, well, we can't guarantee you that you have that job, but there's always opportunities in the Marines for you." And I said, "All right, well, I'll come back." I went and talked with the Army, and mind you, I was 17. So I went and asked them the same thing. I said, "I want to be military police. Can you give me that?" And they said, "No, we can't give you that. It's not available at this time, but these are some other options." They put a little DVD in, and I said, "All right, well, I just want to jump out of airplanes." And the next thing I knew, I was in the Army jumping out of airplanes as an airborne ranger medic. I enjoyed my service. At 17, I really had no idea where it was going to take me. I knew that I wanted to experience as much as I could, and before I got out and went to college. Next thing I knew, 20 years later, I'm getting medically retired out of the Army as a Master Sergeant, an E8, and had a degree that I got while I was in the Army. So I used the Army to my advantage. I used it to help get me the education, the thrill of doing amazing things in the military, deploying to Iraq, living overseas. I was able to utilize my military career to satisfy a lot of my needs and really help me grow up and to be a better person when I got out of the military. The military really provided the tools and the skills that I needed to make a great career in the military. Some of the things that I experienced after I got out of the military is that I had a lot of those tools. The experience that the Army values and the Army the warrior ethos values that were instilled in me in the military, I realized that I took those with me on the civilian side. And that's one of the reasons why employers really want to help and hire our veterans, because they have those values and they implement them into their everyday lives and in everyday experiences and into their own workplace. So that's my military experience didn't just end in the military. It's helped transition myself into a lifelong career after the military as well. When I got out of the military, I got medically retired, and it was very challenging for me because I did 20 years, and I thought, all right, well, I'm going to get out, and I did 20 years in the military. Everybody's going to want to hire me. They're going to come knocking on my door. I'm going to have all these offers. I'm going to be making $100,000 a year and doing all that, and it doesn't happen. I was older than the average service member getting out because I've been in for so long. It was a juggling act, trying to figure out where I fit in. I needed to deal with my medical appointments with the VA. I needed to go back to school and get additional training or a certification or a degree or something that I can translate more into the civilian side now to make me more marketable for an employer. I was trying to figure out where I fit in my own life now, and I actually had to deal with my own life. I had to deal with my own challenges instead of, all right, well, I'm going and taking care of soldiers, and this is my professional life, this is my work. I buried my life into my work. Well, now I had all the time in the world that I had to take care of and really look at my own life. Part of the problems that we're seeing with our service members as they're exiting the military every day, some aren't ready to work. Some need additional education. Some need additional training, and some need budget counseling and life coaching and guidance. I'm going to tell you that that's where the community support and community involvement is key. So when you hear of what can I do to help our veterans, you get your communities involved. You get your communities wrap their arms around their service members and wrap their arms around each other, and you're going to build a relationship for life that's not only going to support your community, but it's going to build a better environment for every family to live in. When I got out, I didn't know what I wanted to do next, so I started a nonprofit organization and helping veterans transition. I saw a lot of problems with our veterans. The Army did a great job, and they said, thanks for your service. Now, thank you and see you. Go, if you have any questions, go to the VA. And the VA doesn't always answer all your questions, or you might not know the resources or what benefits are out there or what the next step is. And some people are afraid to even go to the VA and ask for, or what questions to even ask. So I started a nonprofit called Combat Veterans to Careers that helps veterans and their family members provide those services and those life coaching, the life counseling and the budget counseling, and help with housing and help with transportation and help figure out their path. And that's what it's about, is that we're formulating a new path for them to follow. In the military, we lived structured lives. With that structure, we're trying to implement that structure in a different way, that you're putting it into your family and formulating a plan. We do short-term, mid-term, and long-term plans, and we figure out how we can help you walk that path so you're not walking it alone. We figure out that path that's going to get you so that you're not worried if you're going to be able to feed your kids this month, or if you're going to have housing over your head, or what you need to do to be able to get a degree or a job in a certain field. We're going to help you with that, but we're not going to do it for you. You have to do the work. The veterans have to do it. There are no handouts. And most of our veterans don't expect a handout. They don't want the handout. They want to work for everything that they have. They just need that opportunity, and that's what we're helping them, help to provide some of those opportunities for them and their family to have a great, fulfilling life after they've served our country. That's what our program is about, and that's what each of our communities need to get involved with. We hear a lot about post-traumatic stress disorder or post-traumatic stress, and when you serve in the military, and especially in combat, it's an adrenaline rush. I mean, you're living every day, whether you're being shot at, whether you're walk around whatever corner or drive around whatever corner, not knowing what's in the road, not knowing what's at the next stop sign or the next building. So you're on a heightened sense of awareness 24/7. And I think that anyone, when they come back and having to adjust to that on the civilian side, you can't get a grasp until you've been there. You hear about the suicide rates of 22 suicides a day. And, one of the biggest things is that 22 suicides, the majority of them are our Vietnam veterans. And so if you look at that, it doesn't just happen overnight. Some of these veterans are still dealing with some of the traumatic events and experiences that they've dealt with even in the Vietnam War. So it doesn't just, all right, well, here's a pill or here's something that this is going to fix it. It doesn't. It takes time. But I'll tell you, there's no cookie cutter approach to say, all right, well, this is what's going to resolve your post-traumatic stress, and this is what's going to fix you, and this is what's going to stop our 22 suicides a day. Whether it's one a day or 22 or 200, they're all, it's all too many. I truly believe that the suicide rates are just ridiculous. And I was there. I was in that dark place before, and I know that there's pain meds and you hit bottom, but it's not. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and there is help out there. I had a friend on Monday who committed suicide, and he was a medic as well in the Army. His name was Brian Mancini. He was a very good friend. Started a nonprofit organization to help veterans, but he got to a point, I don't know why, and he felt that was his best option. But it hurts the ones that leave behind, and it's hard. But I don't think that is the best option. I don't think it's the best option for anyone, and I think we need to raise awareness and make sure that that's never an option. It hurts every day knowing that what could we have done different? What could we have? And I don't know that we could have, but by making it in the news, when's the last time you heard anything on television about the 150 different countries that our service members are at? Unless it's something tragic, or our veterans are serving our country, our needs, protecting our freedoms. But you don't hear about it on the news. You hear about the Kardashians. You hear about Hollywood. Who's making what political views. Our veterans and our service members are not political. We support whatever Republicans, Democrats, Independents that are are serving in our government. We go to wars where we're told, and we go and do what we're protecting the freedoms of our citizens of the United States, not the government of the United States. We protect the citizens who live in this country and come to this country for a better life. The reasons that we have that in every instance, in every war, are to protect those freedoms. But we need to really take a good hard look at how we can protect them when they come home and make sure that they have a better life, because they've been fighting for our freedoms. Let's give them the freedom of having a better life after their service. I guarantee you everyone will have a better life after that if we could provide them the things that they need to be able to survive, and not have to go to a dark place. Or we just need to raise awareness and really come together as a community and as a nation to help our veterans go through these struggles and go through these challenges as they exit the military. I deal with them every day, and if I can do it, I know a number of them can do it. And you're not alone. You have resources out there, and whether it's the VA or whether it's non-governmental agencies, they're all out there to help support your transitions and be proud of your service. I'm very proud of every day that I served in the military. Actually, every morning I get up and wish I was in. I miss it every day. And I've had a great career, and I've gone through a number of different things, but I wouldn't give it up for the world. I love this country, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.